Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you're having the best day ever. I am so excited to be making this video for you guys today. I want to introduce myself a little bit and talk about what it is that you can expect from this channel and what kind of content and what kind of videos. So first off, my name is Valeria. I live in Arizona and it is really hot. Really hot. It is August here. Well, it's August everywhere, but I don't know when you're going to see this video. So it's August right now. What else? Well, I got my degree in psychology from Arizona State University almost 2 years ago, and that's going to be very important because that is what my channel is going to be kind of all about, really, psychology, because I love it. I love it, and I'm really passionate about psychology. I think it's an amazing subject, and it's really important to know that psychology is a huge umbrella. It's a huge umbrella under which many subcategories and branches kind of fall. So please take that into consideration if you are maybe trying to figure out if you want to study psychology, or if you're just interested and you're like, what even is psychology? So yeah, that's a good place to start. What even is psychology? According to my dear old friend Wikipedia, by definition, it is the study of behavior and mind, embracing all aspects of the human experience. It is an academic discipline and an applied science which seeks to understand individuals and groups by establishing general principles. So that is that. Now put it in your pocket. You're going to need that information. I mean, that is like not even the tip of the iceberg. That is just like an atom on top of the iceberg. So let's talk about some of these categories that I had mentioned. So developmental psychology. This one is really amazing. One of my favorites. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's all about development, the human development, and that is physical, cognitive, mental, emotional, whatever you can think of. It covers it. Although it does focus on the entire lifespan, personally, I love toddler and baby development because I think it's really interesting how we kind of see them, like babies and toddlers, as kind of unconscious, maybe unaware, vulnerable little creatures, but their minds are actually absorbing information at an astounding rate. Like, they're actually geniuses. So, okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I just find it so fascinating. Another branch of psychology is abnormal psychology. Abnormal psychology focuses on disorders. So you got schizophrenia, OCD, bipolar disorder. Those are just some examples. People in this field, they tend to focus on treatment and diagnosis. Positive psychology. Positive psychology is, from my understanding, relatively new. And what I love about positive psychology is that it's all about just being well and being happy and being content. It's kind of the opposite of abnormal psychology because it focuses on the other end of the scale. It's all about the positive numbers, living life above zero. So let me kind of explain what I'm talking about. So if you think of a scale, let's say you have -10, you have +10. The negative numbers is living with a disorder, and 0 is living without a disorder, so not being ill. And positive numbers is, like I said, being happy, being content, being fulfilled, being not stressed out. That's all that positive psychology is all about, and it's really cool. I really love positive psychology. There's also social psychology, which I think has to be my favorite, and I'm just gonna stop saying that I love them because I love them all and I just sound really repetitive. But this field is all about the factors that kind of alter our behavior and make us behave in a certain manner when there's other people around us. It also looks at the conditions under which certain behaviors tend to occur. So kind of psychology is kind of all about that, about how human behavior is actually kind of predictable, and given the right circumstances and the right conditions and the right environment, you can kind of come up with principles, and a lot of times they will apply, and that's what a lot of these social experiments come to show. People under certain conditions will behave a certain way, which is crazy. It's crazy, right? I mean, is it just me? I don't know. I think it's crazy. But I don't know if you've heard of, I mean, I feel like you might have heard of at least one really famous one, like the Stanford prison experiment. That's a really famous one. I Outrageous, all I can say. It's really fascinating to me how another person's presence can alter behavior. Even their proximity alters behavior. If they're doing nothing, it alters behavior. If they're doing something, it alters behavior. And a lot of times people will do things in a social setting with other people that they would never do by themselves, and vice versa. It's weird. So basically, I think that if you have never studied psychology, you're in for a treat. I think you're going to love the content here. I think you're going to find it as fascinating as I do. I will be posting every Saturday. I think that this week I'm going to be posting Wednesday as well. I really want to post eventually every single Saturday and Wednesday, but for now I'm just doing Saturdays with the exception of this first week, because this first video wasn't too time consuming. I didn't have to whip out the good old notebooks and textbooks or anything like that. So yeah, sorry it's so chatty, by the way. I just really had to get this out of my system. I just really wanted to like preface and explain a little bit of why I'm doing this and what my background is and what I know and what I don't know, or what I like and what I don't like. I mean, not really, but you know what I mean. So there are a lot more categories than the ones that I mentioned above. Of course, there's sports psychology, there is even animal psychology, there's forensic psychology, consumer psychology. Whatever field you are in, there's probably already a branch of psychology dedicated to it, or at least creeping its way to it. So I don't think that you have to be a psychology student. I don't think you have to be somebody that works in the field of psychology to benefit from this. I think everybody can benefit from learning about psychology. I think that psychology is essentially the study of, like I mentioned earlier, essentially the human of study. What? Psychology is pretty universal because we're all human, and I think you can learn a lot about yourself. I think you can learn at the very least about others. I think that when I was studying psychology, I grew a lot as a person. I was more sympathetic. I understood people more and their decisions, even if they seemed irrational to me. At a given moment, I just had to take a step back and put on my psychology student glasses and be like, okay, they're all right. They're doing what they think is best, and yada yada yada. So there's that. There's also times in which I myself have used psychology to kind of trick myself into being comfortable in maybe social situations where otherwise I would not have been comfortable, or been able to pretend I was comfortable. For example, like job interviews, like I've been able to trick myself into like being super confident, and it's just great. It's great to know about psychology, and I'm so excited to be diving back into it. There is so much to learn. It is always being updated. There's always new studies that kind of can rock your world, because if there is a well-known principle that has been established for years and years and years, but then there's a research study that disproves it, nothing is written in stone. Essentially, science wins. So wherever there's proof, wherever there's data, that's what it is. That's what goes in the textbook. That is what we share. That is what is on the articles. I am really excited to kind of get a little refresher and see what's been going on in the psychology world. I have definitely been working the past 2 years that since I graduated, but I have been doing more like social type work. And lastly, I really want to mention the fact that psychology is a science. When I first signed up for my classes as an 18-year-old, I was like, why do I have to take research methods? Why do I have to take statistics? Like, what is this, math? I was freaking out. I had no idea. I thought it was very like theoretical and like philosophical and a lot of I statements. I think that people are like this because of that, and I think that this and this and that. And that's not. We follow the research method. We do start based on a theory and then go on to either prove it or disprove it or support it or not support it, whatever the case is. So I think you guys are gonna love it. I think that you guys are not gonna regret spending your time here. You might regret watching this video because it is not helpful or educational, and it's just me kind of going on and on and on, and it's kind of all over the place. But like I said, I really just wanted to get this video out of my system so I can have a little, you know, something to go off of, so you guys kind of know who I am, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. So yeah, I hope you guys stay tuned, and I will see you guys on Wednesday.